Students at Riverside High thought their new English teacher was hiding something disturbing. They were so convinced they discreetly observed his phone's screen. What they found almost got them into serious trouble. Riverside High School, Tampa, Florida, October 2019. On a chilly Monday morning, a rumor started spreading through Riverside High. The new English teacher was unsettling. David Winters had joined the school at the start of the semester, teaching junior and senior English. He was in his early 40s, with dark hair streaked lightly with gray at the temples and intense green eyes behind black-framed glasses. He wasn't rude, he wasn't unfriendly, just quiet, very quiet. Some students found it intriguing, others found it uncomfortable. 17-year-old Maya Rodriguez was the first to feel something was off. During third period English, Mr. Winters was teaching Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, but he wasn't just explaining it, he was dissecting it. Guilt, Mr. Winters said in a low, measured voice, is what ultimately destroys the narrator. Not punishment from the outside, but the internal torment of knowing what he's done. The classroom was completely silent. The beating heart under the floorboards, he continued, is really the sound of his own conscience, getting louder and louder until he can't escape it. A chill ran down Maya's spine. After class, she met up with her friends, Jake Peterson and Emma Chen. "Okay," Maya said quietly. "Did Mr. Winters feel intense today?" Emma nodded immediately. "Yeah. Also, have you noticed, he never goes to the teacher's lounge. He just stays in his classroom during lunch." Jake shrugged. Maybe he's just introverted. Maybe, but Maya wasn't convinced. 2 days later, Emma stayed after school to finish a project in the computer lab. On her way out, she passed Mr. Winters' classroom. The door was mostly closed, but through the small window, she could see him inside. He was sitting at his desk, staring very intently at his phone. Emma slowed. From her angle, she could just make out the screen. Her stomach tightened. It seemed to be an image from a very intense research context, somewhat unsettling. Within an hour, the three friends were gathered at Maya's house. "Why would an English teacher have photos like that?" Emma whispered. Jake tried to reason it out. "Maybe he writes crime fiction?" Emma shook her head. "We shouldn't jump to conclusions, but we should probably look into it." Maya nodded slowly, carefully. Over the next week, the three of them began quietly observing Mr. Winters. Nothing obvious, just watching. Emma searched public records. "Okay," she said one evening, scrolling. "David Winters, 42, previously lived in Orlando, moved to Tampa in August." She frowned. "Wait, what?" Maya asked. "Before 5 years ago, there's almost nothing." Jake leaned forward. "That's weird." A few days later, Maya noticed something partially sticking out from under a folder on Mr. Winters' desk, a newspaper clipping. She could only read part of the headline, "Identified in Tampa Bay." That was enough. The three of them made a plan. After class, Maya would stay behind to ask a question and accidentally spill water. During the distraction, she'd get a quick look at his phone. They told themselves it was just to be sure, just to confirm, nothing more. The plan worked. But what Maya found wasn't what any of them expected. That afternoon, the three of them huddled over Maya's phone. She had managed to snap a quick photo of Mr. Winters' screen. Jake zoomed in. "Wait," he said slowly. "Look at the corner." There was small text written on the image. Maya zoomed further. Her eyes narrowed. "Episodes of a well-known psychological thriller series, 2842. Emma blinked. "What?" Jake was already typing. A few seconds later, his expression changed. "Guys, Mindhunter is a TV show." Silence. They checked another image. A popular detective drama episode, 1520. Another, a character-driven crime series episode, 3215. The realization hit all at once. Maya leaned back slowly. These aren't real photos. Jake exhaled. "The screenshots from crime shows." Emma covered her face. "Oh my gosh," Jake muttered. "We almost reported our teacher for watching Netflix." The next day after school, the three of them stood nervously outside Mr. Winter's classroom. Maya knocked lightly. "Mr. Winters, do you have a minute?" He looked up. "Of course, come in." They stepped inside. Maya took a deep breath. "Mr. Winters, we owe you an apology." His brow furrowed slightly. Emma spoke next. "We saw your phone the other day, and we jumped to the wrong conclusion." A brief pause. Then unexpectedly, Mr. Winters smiled. Not angry, not offended, just understanding. "Ah," he said gently, "my crime drama screenshots." The three students froze. "You noticed them?" Jake nodded miserably. "Yes, sir." Mr. Winters leaned back slightly. "I use those when I teach narrative tension and psychological suspense. Visual examples help some students grasp structure more clearly." Relief flooded the room, but his expression grew more serious. "What you did, accessing information without explicit consent, is still a serious ethical concern." All three nodded quickly. "Yes, sir." He studied them for a moment. "But," he said calmly, "I also understand something else." They looked up. "You were concerned, and being observant isn't a bad thing." He folded his hands. "You just have to balance curiosity with critical thinking." Mr. Winters was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "There's actually a reason I keep to myself." The room grew still. 5 years ago, I lost someone very close to me. After that, I changed careers. Emma's voice was soft. "You worked in forensics?" He nodded once. "Forensic documentation. That explained a lot. I couldn't keep doing it," he continued quietly. "So I went back, got my teaching certification, and started over somewhere new." Maya swallowed. "That's why there's not much about you before 5 years ago." "Exactly." He looked at each of them. "So let me give you one piece of advice." They leaned forward slightly. "Ask questions before you build conclusions." He gave a small smile. "If you had come directly to me, we could have cleared this up in about 30 seconds. The three students nodded. "Understood, sir." "Good," he said. Then his eyes twinkled slightly. "As payment for this lesson, you're each writing a short essay." Jake sighed. "What's the topic?" Mr. Winters smiled. "The danger of assumptions and the importance of evidence-based thinking." In the weeks that followed, Mr. Winters became more open about how he used crime drama clips in class. Maya, Jake, and Emma became some of his most engaged students. They learned about confirmation bias, pattern recognition errors, and how easily the human brain fills in the wrong story. In November, during another lesson on the telltale heart, Mr. Winters asked, "What does Poe's narrator teach us about perception versus reality?" Maya raised her hand. "That we often see what we expect to see." Mr. Winters smiled. "Exactly." After class, he stopped the three of them. "I'm starting an after-school critical thinking club. Real and fictional mysteries, evidence analysis, logical fallacies." He raised an eyebrow, interested. The three friends exchanged a look. Jake grinned. "We're in." Within months, the club became one of the most popular activities at Riverside High, and eventually, their story became the club's favorite cautionary tale. On the last day of the year, Maya stopped by Mr. Winters' classroom. "Sir, sorry again for how badly we misjudged you." He chuckled. "You know what? That situation turned into one of my favorite teaching moments." Maya smiled sheepishly. "Still pretty embarrassing." "Oh, extremely," he said dryly. "Mostly for you." They both laughed. Mr. Winters continued teaching at Riverside High for many years, known for his unusual methods and his commitment to teaching students not what to think, but how to think. And yes, he never stopped taking screenshots from crime shows. He just started labeling them more clearly. for educational use, not real crime scene, just to be safe. The end. This story is a work of fiction. Any names, characters, places, or events are either the product of the author's imagination or used fictitiously. Note: for more mysterious, dramatic, and horror stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Please share your thoughts and suggestions in the comments.